Hello, my name is Nadra, or Nadra Guizani, and I'm going to talk to you about a journey through equal pay rights. I'm going to be taking you on a journey through equal pay. Last year, I joined the AUW, American Association University of Women, which has been empowering women since 1881. Working with AUW gave me multiple resources and a more in-depth understanding of their gender pay gap. The gender and race pay gap increases depending on certain gender statistic. But you have white male statistics, you have black woman statistics, you have Asian American statistics, but for me, as a Muslim woman, I don't even have a benchmark to see where my pay gap is. So throughout this journey, we're going to be looking at the history of the equal pay rights and where do we go from there. Starting with a quick history, the Equal Pay Act of 1963 was spearheaded by AAUW and aimed at apologizing wage disparities based on sex. It was signed into law in June 10th, 1963 by John F. Kennedy. American women's salaries have risen relative to that time, but is still at a stagnant rate, and it stays around 80% per male for a male's salary. In October 24th, 1975 in Iceland, 90% of women went on strike for equal rights, walking off their jobs and out of their homes, leaving their children behind, shutting down the entire country. Men were at a loss. A year later, Parliament passed a law to guarantee equal pay. And 5 years later, they had elected their first female president. 52 years ago, men and women in Iceland had equal pay, but now it's back to 14% pay gap. On October 24th of this year, the wage gap is at 14%. And for the last 11 years, women in Iceland have been walking out of their job every year on the 24th of October, and every day, they leave at the time that they would get the pay. So to this year, it was at 2:48 p.m. They would leave their jobs. This might not be significant, but this spurred a movement across Europe. For women across France, this is a huge importance. This year, at 2:58 p.m., the moment that effectively stopped being paid for 2016, they all picked up their bags and walked out of their offices. When calculated, women would have to work 38 days more than a man for the same salary, and they were not okay with that. Throughout the world, the pay gap is different for each country. Korea is at 36% with the largest pay gap throughout the world. And we have New Zealand at 5.6%, which is the smallest gap. What makes it worse is that the more you progress in education or in your career, it keeps increasing. So when I complete my doctorate, I'll be looking forward to 76 cents on the dollar to my male counterpart. And this is only if they assume I'm a white woman. Equal pay should not be restricted to gender. Race identity plays a huge part. So this is not just a women's issue. This is an issue for all minority groups. But in all cases, women still make less than their man counterparts, even within the same race. So what do we do about it? We are working for the world we want to live in. So AUW provides 2 workshops, one designated for college students, which helps negotiate their starting salary, articulate their value, and build their confidence in how to negotiate. And the other for working women, that benchmarks their skills to establish an equitable target salary, whether it's for a promotion or for a salary raise. This is not enough to ensure equal pay rights, and it should not be on the burden of those most affected. Congress needs to make moves to amend and reaffirm the laws and regulations that were created through the Equal Pay Act of 1963. Equal Pay Day, which is this year on April 4th of 2017, represents the average date of how far into the year women must work to earn what men earned the previous year. The dates for equal pay for Black women and brown and indigenous women are even later into the year. Latinas have to work all the way up to November to make up what men had from the previous year. So their equal pay day was like a week ago. Equal Pay Day is a day to get a large number of people involved in the effort of obtaining equal pay for all. Several events can be organized for this day and bring together information and resources to many different people. One such event is unequal bake sale. It's one way of getting people involved, and everybody loves food. So the same baked goods will be priced differently depending on what you pay or what your pay is. So last year, Purdue's AUW had a small art pop-up shop during last year's Equal Pay Day, where a male would pay $1 for an art piece and a woman would pay 76 cents for that same art piece. It was small but significant. I personally have been also motivated by the movement of the women across Europe. So for this year's Equal Pay Day, I would really like to have some form of walkout on the Equal Pay Day. Now, it's harder in the US because we have such a disparity in equal pay depending on your race, but working together, we might find some kind of common ground to find that. And Equal Pay Day, since it's seen across the United States, might get many more people involved and confident to walk out of their workplaces. We need to keep fighting. The more we talk about it, the more people understand what's going on. A year ago, I didn't even know there was such a thing as equal pay disparity among genders. I thought, okay, I'm an engineer, I'm gonna get my degree and I'm gonna be paid very well. And because I see other majors aren't as, the salary for other majors isn't the same. But even within the engineering, it's still a large disparity. So if we keep at this same slow pace, it's going to be about 50 years, or now it's up to 133 years, where it'll take to get the same pay as males. So until 2059, we will not have equal pay if we keep at this same pace. And only your great-granddaughter will get the equal pay that we all deserve. Thank you.